in my domain. Got the whole crowd screaming out our name. It's a blowout, it's a hurricane. It's over before you know it. While you shaking, we're a dynasty in the making. We're the royalty. Now we're breaking down the enemy. Move over for the soldiers. Take a swing, I can take a hit. If we die, it's fine. We live for this. It's all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights. For the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory.
Well, what a weekend it has been here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, trying to figure out who's in the Final Four, who's out of the Final Four, calculating points with a lot of action going on, some wild wrecks, unbelievable photo finishes. I'm mentally and emotionally exhausted, but we still got one more race to go here this weekend to figure out who's going to be in the Final Four to complete for the big one, the Hersheys Cup Series Championship Final Four next week at Auto Club. 8 drivers come in as hopefuls up to this point. We had no playoff driver win at Michigan. We had no playoff driver win at Talladega. So all 8 drivers can still make it in on points, or someone can sneak in a last-minute win here today at Homestead-Miami Speedway, the venue where most series end up having their championship. This is the race where we basically set up our championship race at Auto Club. But let's try and set the field for you. Let's try and set the scenario for you, and it can change in the blink of an eye in the matter of one lap if we have a big wreck. And it was taking place in our Trucks and Pizza Hut Series races this weekend nonstop. But this is what the scenario looks like coming into this one right now. J Baskinger is the points leader. Only 2 points in hand over Trent Dunham, only 3 points in hand over R Reynolds, and only 4 points in hand over Benjamin Miles. We should point out R Reynolds trying to become the first rookie ever to make it into the Final Four. Now, right now, Benjamin Miles is the driver that has all the pressure on him coming into this race because he's in that 4th position in the standings. If we look behind him, the gap from him back to 5th place, Brooke Allen, 4 points. From 6th back to 6th place, Dallas McIntosh, 16 points. To 7th place, Tim Walsh, it is 26 points, and it is 30 points back to Zachary Fitzwater. I would say for Walsh and Fitzwater right now, they're almost in a must-win situation. They need that to happen, or for at least 3 drivers like Baskinger, Dunham, Reynolds, Miles, or Allen to run into trouble early here and be able to come away with at least a decent enough finish to get in via points. We saw it really close yesterday between Cody Lamas and Yin Canario. We could be in that kind of a scenario coming into this one here today. And on the other side, we've got 34 other drivers that don't care a lick about those other guys and their hopes for the championship. They just want to win a race here to finish out this season with as many wins as possible. Some of them still looking for their first career Hersheys Cup Series victory. You got Daniel Gilbert lined up on the pole here. He had a great car last week at Talladega. Got the benefit of a caution flag, which helped him be able to catch back up, and he finished out the day, I believe it was in the top 10. Then alongside of him, A Drayton, 2-time winner this season, having a career year, but he'd love to be able to go to victory lane for a 3rd time. And then behind them, you've got Joshua Ciculli and Emmanuel Hartnett. Hartnett comes into this race 33rd in points, trying to stay ahead of that cut line so he can keep his charter for next season.
Start your engines!
As I was just so rudely interrupted. Ciculli, on the other hand, he comes into this race 40th in the point standings, trying to keep himself, get himself out of the cellar of the point standings, trying to keep his charter for next year as well. We're not going to give you the point scenario because we basically gave it to you before we got the command to fire it up. You can look down in the description below to see where your playoff contenders are starting interspersed in this field. I believe the highest starting driver is Zachary Fitzwater, who is 8th of the 8 championship drivers right now, rolling off from the 10th position. He is actually one of the former winners of this event as well, joining the likes of Carson Scott, Matt McIntyre, and a 2-time winner of this event, Dylan Young. We'll keep our eyes on the 2 car as he tries to win here at Homestead for an unprecedented 3rd time. This is kind of considered a home track of his. Dylan Young considers himself both a native of the Chicago area as well as down in Florida. So he kind of has Chicagoland, Daytona, Homestead-Miami as home tracks of his that we go to on the schedule. Oh boy. I've done back-to-back races here, just in case you're wondering. I did the truck race, I did the Pizza Hut X Series race, now I'm doing the Hersheys Cup Series race, all back-to-back-to-back, which is why I sound so emotionally drained right now. But I'm going to soldier through, try and hope that we bring you guys a really exciting race. We had a photo finish here yesterday. What will we see here today? I don't know, but we're going to have 4 drivers competing for the championship when all's said and done. Black flags in the air here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Let's roll! You're going to see him double wide, 3 wide. They've attempted 4 wide all week. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't. And we've been at no shortage of cautions. We had, I think it was 3 or 4 in the truck race. We had 3 in the Pizza Hut X Series race here yesterday. Little bit of trivia for you there. We mentioned about the former winners at this racetrack. Well, Carson Scott won the inaugural race back in Season 1. Guess what car he was driving? The number 38. And J Baskinger, who comes in the points leader, is driving the number 38 car. Inside line's open. Chris Dodd's going to take it. We saw in the truck race that the outside line actually gets a good run. And there's enough drivers lined up back there. And you're seeing that right there with Daniel Gilbert able to hang on to the top position for the moment. A couple of drivers that would be very happy the top line's working would be Zachary Fitzwater and Benjamin Miles. They both started on the outside of their respective rows. Now that inside line got better momentum on the inside of turn 2, Chris Dodd's going to follow that up and take the top position. Chris Dodd looking for his first win since last year at Texas when he was a 2-time winner, winning the Daytona 500 that year as well. He's on a winless streak of over a year. We saw a 77 race winless streak get snapped last week with Johnny Gardner going to victory lane. As a matter of fact, it's really getting close in that battle to try and get out of the bottom 5 spots in the point standings. Right now, if you look at it, 33rd place in the points is Emmanuel Hartnett, and he only has 50 points between himself and 39th in points, Lee and Alvarise. So it is still really close for drivers to possibly fall out and move in out of that cutoff line. Right now, the highest running playoff driver is the rookie R Reynolds. There he is, inside line. He has moved up now almost to the top 5. I think he's unofficially in 6th right now. Ooh, almost a little contact between himself and Joshua Ciculli. Like we mentioned, R Reynolds trying to become the first rookie to ever make it to the Final 4 in the Hersheys Cup Series. The Final 4 has always been represented by veterans for the past 5 seasons. Now, one driver that we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on during the course of this race, the closest driver to the cut line that's behind it, is B Allan in the 3. About mid-pack right now. She's only 4 points behind Benjamin Miles coming into this race. So those two are really going to be fighting it out here today, I think, for that final transfer spot, unless someone else can get up there. Another driver I see that might be a potential driver to watch could be that 14 of Dallas McIntosh, but he just moved up to the high line in front of Zachary Fitzwater. McIntosh is only 16 points behind the cut line, so if drivers like Miles or Reynolds or Allen have some problems here, McIntosh could maybe capitalize and get himself into the Final 4. Right now, B Allan, tail end of this lead group. We got some stragglers back here, actually. Trent Dunham in the 1 way back here, along with Elijah Gilbert and Kyle Matthews, Charles Stanford. I don't know if we had a wreck or something, or somebody saved it or something like that, but it's not good for this guy. Tim Walsh in the 15, 7th of the 8 playoff drivers come to this race, and now he's at the very tail end of the field. Along with Sean Gallighan, Johnny Gardner, last week's winner, Kev Shearer, Shane Lake, and Anthony McCrury. As the 29's on pit road, Kyle Keith. And it looks like this is a Well, it's an unscheduled stop, but looks like they definitely are coming to pit road of their own accord. New race leader, Jordan Anderson in the 89, former Pizza Hut X Series champion, one of 2 rookies, along with Shane Lake, who's yet to go to victory lane this season. We mentioned that his team owner, Zachary Fitzwater, is a former winner of this event. So you got to bet Fitzwater gave Jordan some tips on how to approach this racetrack as Anderson looks for his first career win in the Cup Series. All 3 of the former Pizza Hut X Series champions from the 3 previous seasons racing this season in the rookie class of the Hersheys Cup Series. Benny Watson has won 4 times this year. J Gilbert has won twice. Anderson is still looking for his first win. Maybe it'll happen here today at Homestead. Kind of interesting, you got J McCloud up here, and we don't normally talk a whole lot about him, but we're going to talk about him not exactly for a good reason. We talked about that cut line. That battle right now of drivers trying to stay in the top 37 and drivers trying to not get dropped out of the top 37. Well, McCloud comes into this race 37th in points, and he only has an advantage of 15 points between himself and J Shelton coming into this race. So the car that he's trying to stay ahead of right now is the 02, who right now is at the tail end of this lead pack. This group is all caught up to each other, but they've all lost touch with the lead pack. So if something doesn't change, Tim Walch is definitely going to get eliminated from the playoffs here in this round. And I'm very questionable about this guy, Trent Dunham. The guy that I think Trent Dunham needs to worry about, or rather the gal he needs to worry about right now, would be Brooke Allan. Because Trent Dunham came in one of the final 4 positions. He was 9 points ahead of Brooke Allan. Right now, Trent is running in the 27th position. He needs Brooke Allan to be running in 17th or worse. And last time by, Brooke Allan was 25th. Only 2 spots ahead of him. He's at the tail end of this group. So if she keeps running where she is, Trent would, for the moment, be safe. 29 was on pit road. I don't know if he's returned back to the track or not. No, he has not. He is out of the race. Also out of the race, the 33 of Joshua Collard. Both drivers with mechanical problems here, so tough break for those 2 Camaros. And possibly the 33 of Collard coming to pit road was what broke the field up the way it did. Right now, the way they are currently running, I would say your 4 playoff drivers would currently be the drivers that came in the top 4 spots. Baskinger, Dunham, Reynolds, and Miles. But Brooke Allan could very well play spoiler. Matter of fact, let's find out where Miles is at in that 25. There he is, still on the outside line. He's still ahead of the 3 car, which is what he needs to do. He needs to finish ahead of Brooke Allan. Right now, Zachary Fitzwater at the tail end of this pack. Tim Walch not a factor, back quite a ways, and Dallas McIntosh in the 14 is also at the tail end of this lead pack. So right now, Miles is ahead of everybody he needs to be in order to try and make it into the Final 4, which I think would actually be the first time ever in Benjamin Miles' career that he's made it into the Final 4. I might be wrong. I don't recollect him being in the Final 4 in any other seasons. Maybe he was 1 year. Yeah, he was, back in season 1. Was he any other seasons? Oh, he was in season 2 as well. Wow. This is not a new thing to Benjamin Miles. So season 1, season 2. Let's see if he was in season 4. No. So 2 seasons, though. Benjamin Miles has been in the Final 4. So you got to consider he would have a lot of experience and be one of the favorites going in, although it'd be kind of hard to also bet against Trent Dunham, who's been there, done that. He was in the Final 4 last year, and what did he do? Won the championship. J Baskinger, I believe, has also been in the Final 4 in his career. I'm trying to recall which season it was. I want to say season 3? Yes. Finished 3 points short to Kyle Matthews for the championship. And right now, the other driver that would be in line for a playoff spot is R Reynolds. We don't have any stats to go off of him because it would be the first time that he would ever be in the Final 4. Right now, Jordan Anderson, though, looking good, but bear in mind, we have actually run 18 laps of green flag racing, which is the longest we've gone this weekend without having a caution. That means these drivers will have to pit at some point. We ran 40 laps in the Pizza X Series race here yesterday, and they had to make pit stops under caution. They could not make it 40 laps, so there is no earthly way that these Hersheys Cup Series drivers will make it 50 laps. This is the cleanest racing we've seen all weekend. Reynolds still the highest running playoff driver, looking really good right now. He's just outside the top 10. Remember, he might have just taken 10th from Keith Batson. And battling with fellow rookie Benny Watson for what I think would be 9th. I think if we cross the line here, I think the 69's in 10th. No, he's actually in 9th. Watson up to 8th, Reynolds 9th. Battle for 10th between Batson and Bryant. Two-time Homestead winner Dylan Young making his way up the inside line, just outside of the top 10. Oh, and look at this. Trent Dunham has gotten around Brooke Allan. He caught back up here to this group, as did Kyle Matthews. So that's really good news for Trent Dunham. He now has Brooke Allan in his rearview mirror, so right now Trent Dunham keeping his hopes alive of making it into the Final Four. There's the 38. Let's find Baskinger. There he is, just ahead of Dylan Young. Just riding, picking his moments, doing what he's got to do. Same for Benjamin Miles. Right now it's just looking like control damage for the 69, 25, 38, and 1. Realizing they're in the catbird seats right now. They just have to run their race. Everybody else behind them, 5th through 8th in points, they have to really scratch and claw to get their way into the Final Four. Now, interesting thing as well that we should point out is that those 4 drivers that would be eliminated, none of them are running up here towards the front. Highest running playoff driver is R.J. Reynolds, 3rd in the point standings. So Walsh, McIntosh, Allan, Fitzwater, they've got to get to the front if they're going to use a win to get themselves into the playoffs Final Four. Now, right now, out of all those drivers, I think the highest running would be would be McIntosh actually, who right now is actually battling for position with Fitzwater at the tail end of this lead pack. Trent Dunham and Brooke Allan in that group as well. Question of when they're going to have to pit. And this is not an easy pit road to get onto either. You'll notice when they come here into this view, there, that access road, they're going to have to use that. But if some drivers overdrive the access road to get into the grass, they could slide up into traffic and it could cause a big, big wreck. So these drivers are definitely going to have to be aware of that. Good run here for Ciculli there in the 73, McCloud in the 51. Drivers that are struggling in points. Cody Smart as well, 30th in points. Chris Dodd not doing too much better, 25th in the standings. And Jordan Anderson, who was the highest driver during the regular season without a win, caused him to not make the playoffs. He's currently situated in the point standings in 20th, which right now would be, I believe, 3rd highest of the drivers that did not make the playoffs. Right now, Gallighan is the highest. Srigley, Anderson, Gilbert, Lake. That'd be the top 5 highest drivers that were not in the playoffs where they're running the point standings right now. Battle on for, well, I thought it was for 4th, for 3rd rather, now it might be for 4th. Smart stepped out of line, got to the inside line, and Ciculli with a big run on the outside is going to try and take 4th place. Nice run there out of turn 4, and will he clear going into 1 is the question. Yes, he will. Wow, that 73 is good on the high line. Picked up a spot using the outside. Wow, we drop back here. Got Reynolds and Miles rather. K Baskinger all in a close proximity to each other. Ooh, boy! Miles looked like he got awfully close to the left rear quarter panel there of the rookie. Kept off of him though. But I don't know, what are these guys back here doing? McIntosh, Fitzwater, Allan, they need a good run. They're just running at the tail end of this pack. Are they saving fuel? Are they trying to be able to stay out a little bit longer than everybody else? Or what are they doing? I don't know. They're not making any forward progress though, so I'm not sure what they're doing. There's that other group that have not made any progress on catching the lead group, so they're going to have to rely on pit strategy. And boy, Tim Walsh up to speed, not damaged, but I'm assuming a slower car with a mechanical problem is going to take him out of the playoffs now. Tim Walsh, who had that incredible last-minute win in an elimination race at the end of round 2, I believe it was. No, round 1, to get himself into the second round of the playoffs as pit stops begin. Anderson and Chris Dodd will start them. Fitzwater also comes to pit road along with Charles Sanford and the 61 of Anthony McCrury. So the pit stops begin. Only 5 drivers peel off pit road this time. And that turned the race lead over to the 73 of Joshua Ciculli. McCloud actually led the lap. Ciculli's now got the lead. Ooh, look out. I think Ciculli's trying to come to pit road. Gonzales isn't going to let him. Oh, they're going to wreck. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, they're piling up on the front straightaway. Drivers trying to avoid. Look out. Oh, there's more drivers coming in. Oh, my goodness. And this could very well trap some drivers a lap down. I don't know. Ciculli's involved. Smart, Watson. There's someone smoking up further ahead. Gonzales, we know, is involved. Oh, it's J Arndt that's smoking. The Zaxby Chevrolet. Trent Dunham, Dallas McIntosh got through, but I don't think I really saw any playoff drivers get involved in that wreck. McCloud's going to be the leader. This is certainly going to shuffle the field up quite a good bit with about 20 laps to go. I don't know who's going to maybe be trapped a lap down, who isn't. But, what an untimely caution. Boy, Ciculli was trying to get to pit road. Gonzales to his inside. I don't know what Ciculli expected Brandon to do. And here comes McCloud to pit road. Oh! J Bryant just got spun out by Charles Sanford. And he's going to teleport through the barrels, and now he's stuck in the pit wall. Well, okay then. Well, that's the caution. First of the day. Took us this long to get there, and don't think any playoff drivers were involved, but it's certainly going to set us up for a doozy of a restart, and we're going to have to try and figure out who's running where. But some of those drivers that pitted early may get the benefit of track position now because of this caution. We'll have to wait and see as we'll jump back and see what happened out of turn 4 in the middle of green flag pit stops. Well, it was pretty clear to tell in turn 3 that Ciculli was trying to get low to come to pit road, but I don't know what he expected Brandon Gonzales to do. Brandon was inside. Both cars slide up the racetrack. Nice avoidance by JT Bryant. Nowhere for Cody Smart to go, though. Benny Watson gets collected up in it. Dylan Young. Oh, no. The 2-time Homestead winner. He's going to get a piece of it. There's J Arndt, D Poteet involved. There's A Drayton getting a piece. Trent Dunham and his teammate Dallas McIntosh, I think, just squeaked through. As there's Smart hitting Benny Watson as well. Yeah, I think both the Sega Motorsports cars were able to just barely get through. J Arndt smoking, Drayton with damage. And as all this was happening, all these other drivers had come to pit road, and they were already committed. Look at L Alvarise, Shane Lake, and Kev Shearer. Going to tiptoe their way through this. But I'm going to be very interested to see who's going to be the leader when all this cycles around. Cody Smart looks like his day is done. J Arndt looks like his day is over. But like I said, none of our playoff contenders were involved in that wreck. Now it's going to be a question of where does this caution flag position all of them as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. Well, we're going to get ready to go back green flag racing. The drivers that this is really going to hurt are a couple of drivers that were the first to peel off onto pit road. Remember, Jordan Anderson came to pit road first, and a couple of drivers followed him down pit road. McCrury was another. Well, they're going to restart in 39th and 40th, just ahead of the current race leader, which is Daniel Gilbert in the 4, who started on the pole position. Benjamin Miles will restart in 2nd with Jake Baskinger in 3rd, so their chances of making it to the final 4 looking even better. Hartnett will restart in 4th with teammate Richardson in 5th. Then it's Shelton, Blaine Keys, Elijah Gilbert, Kyle Matthews, and Brooke Allen now up there in the top 10. So beware Reynolds and Dunham. See where everybody else is restarting. Tim Walsh up there in 12th. So, I mean, there's some guys here now that have a shot with a win to get into the Final Four. RJ Reynolds right now 13th place for the restart. Fitzwater is 20th. And Trent Dunham is all the way back right now in 26th place with teammate Dallas McIntosh in 28th. They lost a lot of track position having to pit there under caution. We'll see if they can make it up. Right now, the way the points look, I would say that your Final Four contenders at this point in time would be Baskinger, Reynolds, Miles, and Allen. Trent Dunham right now I think would be on the outside looking in. We'll see what he can do against the 3 of Brooke Allen. or maybe the 69 of R Reynolds here on this restart. McCrury and Anderson, I do believe, are up to speed, but there's certainly going to be some up-to-speed roadblocks for the race leader, Daniel Gilbert. We'll see how he's able to maneuver them as they are on the tail end of the lead lap. Out of the race after that wreck, two cars that were smoking, John R. and Cody Smart, joining Kyle Keith and Joshua Collard in the garage area. They were out of the race before that caution came out due to mechanical problems. Green flag back in the air, or black flag back in the air here at Homestead, as we've got 17 laps to go. And boy, are they wadded up here on the start. Good gracious. Keep in mind the 89's in the tail end of the lead lap, but Jordan Anderson would certainly love to see a quick caution right here to be able to get back on the lead lap, as Daniel Gilbert now to the inside tries to put Anderson a lap down. Side by side between playoff contenders. Benjamin Miles, J Baskinger, that's for second. Think back to yesterday's Pizza X Series race. What happened? We had playoff contenders side by side. It was a 5/1000th of a second photo finish between Osborne and Scott Roush. Contact there between Blaine Keys and J Baskinger, and that almost was bad. As now Blaine Keys moves into second place. There's Tim Walsh in the 15 now up in this lead pack. He's played spoiler once in an elimination race. Don't think he wouldn't be more than happy to do it again. Trent Dunham trying to catch up to the lead pack. He and Charles Sanford, Sean Gallighan have lost touch with them, which is going to help Brooke Allen's cause for the moment. As now Daniel Gilbert's got a lap machine between himself and second place Blaine Keys. But them running three wide a few rows deep here is making me awfully nervous, especially with about 5 playoff drivers in this pack. You got Miles, Baskinger, Walch, Reynolds, Fitzwater, and then just a ways back, Trent Dunham and Dallas McIntosh. This is kind of scary as Anderson wants his lap back. He moves Gilbert back up to the high side. That might make it a Gilbert versus Gilbert show for the race lead here in a moment if Elijah Gilbert can get to the inside of Daniel Gilbert. The inverted numbers, 89-98, and Elijah's going to go 3 wide. He tried to on Jordan Anderson, couldn't make the move. By the way, these drivers should be good to go on fuel now. That caution definitely helping them to punch a little bit under pacing laps. They should not have to pit again. So basically what you got, do what you can with it. Side by side, but this is not for the lead. This is the leader, Daniel Gilbert, with the lap car, tail and lead lap, lap car, tail and lead lap. It keeps fluctuating every couple hundred feet. Jordan Anderson looks like he might clear and get his lap back, and now he's going to help Elijah Gilbert maybe in a battle for the race lead. Nope, here comes Gilbert on the outside line again. Tim Walsh just got shuffled in the middle groove as he was making some good forward progress. Now he's got to try and find his way back to the bottom. Jordan Anderson trying to lead that inside line. It looks like Walsh now, they're 2 by 2 as he's now in the outside line. Got a slow car up ahead they're going to have to deal with. That's Brandon Gonzales, and lap traffic's been a big issue all weekend long. It was lap traffic that played a factor in both of our 2 previous races, the Tax Slayer Truck Series race and Pizza X Series race. And Anderson tried to go low, couldn't do it. And Elijah Gilbert's going to get by for the race lead. That's going to hold up the entire outside line, which includes Benjamin Miles and Tim Walsh. Baskinger moves to second, Boyles to third, Srigley to fourth, Shelton to fifth, and that moves Brooke Allan up to sixth. 3-time winner Brooke Allan trying to make it into her first Final Four of the playoffs in what's her final season in Hersheys Cup Series action. And that also helped Trent Dunham in the 1 as he was able to get by Benjamin Miles, and I believe that would have moved Benjamin Miles out of the Final Four right now. Could get wadded back up quickly, though. Look who's at the tail end of this pack there. There's last week's winner, Johnny Gardner, who picked up his first win of the season at Talladega. Fitzwater and Dunham, along with Lee and Albrecht, Sean Gallighan trying to catch back up. Sanford. Well, that slower car really hurt Benjamin Miles. Where in the world is he? He's still way back here. He's lost a lot of spots. Oh, boy. This is not good for the 25. He, along with Daniel Gilbert and Blaine Keys, lost a ton of positions. And again, lap traffic playing a factor into who's moving to the final four and who isn't. That just put Benjamin Miles behind the 8 ball with about, 8 laps to go. Trent Dunham trying to close up as quickly as he can here. And a new race leader, Daniel Voiles in the 26. Picked up his first career win a few weeks ago, well, more than a few weeks ago, but trying to get his second career win here, and they're closing in on more slower traffic. That is Joshua Ciculli in the 73, Anthony McCrury in the 61, both damaged goods, and they probably will catch them before this race is over. So don't count your chickens yet on guessing who the final four are going to be to compete for the championship. And if I'm Brooke Allan, I'm not happy with where I'm at right now. Same for R Reynolds. They're both trapped on the high side. Same for J Baskinger. You've got drivers like Fitzwater, Dunham, McIntosh, who are lined up there that could be able to freight train you on the inside if those slower machines remain on the outside of the racetrack. Reynolds just got back down to the inside line, but Allan and Baskinger are still up topside. Where are the leaders going to go? Slower traffic. Going to yield to the high line. That's going to hurt Brooke Allan in the 3. Baskinger in the 38. Baskinger got to the middle line, so he's going to at least get by Brooke Allan, it looks like, but Allan is trapped behind Anthony McCrury. And now Dunham's going to get by her for position. And now Brooke Allan's in trouble. And does this help Benjamin Miles to catch back up? He's trying to keep in the vicinity of the 3 car. They're now all working their way by Joshua Ciculli. Trent Dunham picking up valuable spots as a result of that. It's up front. It's Voiles, Gilbert, Shelton. All former winners this season. Voiles, a one-time winner. Gilbert and Shelton have been to victory lane twice. Then you got Srigley in 4th. McCloud in 5th. They're still looking for their first win of the season. 3.5 laps to go. Brandon Gonzales just exiting turn 4. They may catch him again before this race is over. Drop back. Highest running playoff driver, Reynolds. You've got Dunham and Baskinger there. Right now, they're in good shape. It's down to Allan and Miles for that final spot. And Brooke Allan now has gotten down to the inside line. There's Benjamin Miles all the way back here. The gap between those two coming into this race was 4 points. Right now, Brooke Allan has the final spot over Benjamin Miles. Unless something happens here in the closing stages. They're catching Gonzales. Voiles goes low. Gilbert follows. Shelton stays up topside, though. That's going to hurt her chances. And Johnny Gardner's. Trent Dunham's going to get by. Baskinger gets by. McIntosh gets held up. Fitzwater gets held up. Where's the 3? We got to follow back here. I know there's a battle for the lead. We're coming to the white flag, but we got to follow the 3 and the 25. Allan got to the bottom. That may have helped her to clinch the final spot against Benjamin Miles. White flags in the air. 1 more lap to go for Daniel Voiles in the 26. Trying to hold off 2-time winner Elijah Gilbert, who's won, I think, the last 2.5-mile tracks we've been at. Chicagoland and Michigan. Srigley looks low for 2nd. Got another slow car ahead, Alex Drayton, but I don't think he's going to be a factor. Through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. It's the first time in his career he'll have a multi-win season. 2nd win of his career. Daniel Voiles takes the checkered flag here at Homestead. Reynolds is into the final 4. Dunham's in the final 4. Baskinger's into the final 4, but who got the final spot? I think it was Brooke Allan. But we've got to look at where everyone else finished. There's Brooke Allan in the 3. She finished ahead of Tim Walsh. She finished ahead of Dallas McIntosh. She finished, I believe, ahead of Fitzwater. And she was 4 points behind Miles. Where did they finish? Allan 17th, Miles in 25th. which means your final four heading into Auto Club to compete for the championship are going to be J Baskinger, Trent Dunham, R Reynolds, and B Allan. For Baskinger and Dunham, it's not the first time they've been in the final four. For Dunham, he's going to try and go for back-to-back championships, but two drivers make a little bit of history. B Allan will make the final four for the first time in her Hersheys Cup Series career, and R Reynolds becomes the very first rookie to have made it all the way to the final four to compete for a championship at Auto Club. Can he be the first rookie to win a Hersheys Cup Series championship? We're going to have to wait and find out. What a battle there at the end. How about Daniel Voiles? His first win of his career took place this season, and now he's got a multi-win season as well to finish out this year. J Gilbert, so close to his third career win. He'll get second. Srigley in third. McCloud helping his chances of keeping ahead of that cut line in the point standings for keeping a charter. He gets fourth. R Reynolds was the highest finishing playoff driver in fifth. That's enough to get him into the final four. Chris Dodd, 6th. Trent Dunham and Baskinger, 7th and 8th. They get into the final four. Gallighan, 9th. And Charles Sanford will complete the top 10. You saw there, B Allan finished in 17th. Needed to beat Benjamin Miles by 4 positions. Did it with double that. Beat him by 8 positions. So Miles is out. Allan is in. And the 4 drivers that will not move on to battle for the championship in the final four at Auto Club are Benjamin Miles, Dallas McIntosh, Tim Walch, and Zachary Fitzwater. You see, Walsh got 19th. That wasn't good enough. Fitzwater got 26th. That wasn't good enough. And McIntosh was 28th. All not good enough to get into the final four. They basically had to really either finish top 5 or win the race. We had 34 cars finish on the lead lap, as most of this race was run under green, quite surprisingly. Off the lead lap with the cars of Jordan Anderson, Joshua Ciculli, Brandon Gonzales, Anthony McCrury, and 4 drivers out of the race due to crash damage were 2 of them, John Arndt and Cody Smart, and mechanical problems under that first green flag run put Kyle Keith and Joshua Collard behind the wall early. So that is going to do it here from Homestead. We've determined our final 4 for the Tax Slayer Truck Series race. We've determined our final 4 for the Pizza Hut Series race, and now we have finally determined the final 4 for our Hersheys Cup Series season finale next week at Homestead. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, become a part of the crew today. We have shown your full figure results. These are your rookie point standings, your overall point standings, and the 4 drivers highlighted in yellow will be competing for the championship trophy next week at Auto Club. All 3 series will determine a champion next week. Who is it going to be? Place your bets and be sure to tune in as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.